Hey y'all, my name is Tatum Harvel and I'm currently a junior from Jonesville, Virginia. I'm a triple major in mass communications, religion, and business administration. On campus, I work with Spiritual Life and the softball team. This semester, I'll be doing your sports interviews and I'm so excited to get started. Last year, the softball team faced their last season at the D3 level. Finding wide success, the team made it to the NCAA tournament, ranked 9th in the country, and made quite a name for themselves. With the move to D2, the team is keeping their stride going. And joining me today from the softball team, we have super senior third baseman Allyson Steadman. Allie, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So this past week, softball saw their first win at the D2 level. And coming from a player that's seen this program grow over the past 5 years, what did that feel like for you? What did that mean for you?
Well, for our softball team, we have team goals, and so one of our team goals this year was make a presence in the SAC and as well as D2, and so it felt pretty good to get that first sweep, especially with having that goal. And we've already seemed to make a presence with one of the teams in the SAC, so we already checked a little bit of the box in that team goal, so I'm super excited about the rest of the season and see how we do.
Absolutely. Was that surprising for you, or were you just ready for the team to get back at it and knew what you were capable of?
I knew what our team was capable of, especially coming off last year. We lost some seniors, we lost some leadership on the team, but we brought in some really good freshmen, and I just think we're going to do just as well in the D2 level as we did in the D3.
Yeah, absolutely. And kind of going off what you're saying, when we look back at last season, being ranked in the 9th in the country at one point, and seeing that same level of competitiveness at the D2 level, you know, there's just something special about this team in Emory and Henry softball. What sets you all apart? You know, where does the grit and drive come from? Because it just never stops.
We really just have really great leaders on our team, especially, we have captains, of course, but we just have great leaders. And one of our core values of our team is family and is grit and resilience and stuff. So we just hold each other accountable to that, and we know we can be successful, and the only way we can be successful is holding each other accountable to doing the little things and doing everything right. So if we do the little things like during practice, if we practice like it's a game, then we're just gonna transfer over into a game. If we can speed practice up, then a game is gonna seem super slow. So we just do the little things right, and we do it the way we think we should be able to do it. And so far it's been working. We've been successful. So I think we're just going to keep that going into D2.
Yeah, absolutely. I see you all pay attention to the little things so well. You know, in the game that we saw this week, you know, Nicole was up to bat, and she knew that all the outfielders are playing in super close, and so she knew that as soon as that hit was made, she could make the run, and she ended up scoring. And so that was awesome. And you all always pay such good attention to all the little details, and that earned us a win the other day. So that's awesome. And, you know, talking about that, moving up to the D2 level, has that transition made you prepare any differently for the game? Has that changed? What does the weight of that look like for you? What does your approach look like? And what has your thought process been through that?
This year, we've really focused on the mental game. So positive affirmations, you know, stuff to get us just ready for the D2 level, because at the D2, we've heard that the SAC is a little bit more taunting than D3.
Yeah.
And so we just had to be mentally strong for this season, and we've really focused on that mental game. And I really think that's going to end up helping us in the long run, especially with our new assistant coach, Mari Cook. She's really good at the mental game, and I'm excited for it, because sometimes my mental game isn't as good as I want it to be.
Yeah, me too. Even in the first couple weeks that she's been here, I've already seen such a growth in all the players through that, the little focus bucket.
Yeah.
It sounds kind of dumb, but it works miracles.
Yeah.
It really does. And so, you know, with no NCAA tournament, because we're moving up to the D2 level and there's no ODAC championship, how does that change your goals for the season?
Our goals, we really just want, like what I said, make a presence in the SAC. I mean, pretty much tell people we're here and we're just as competitive in D2 as we are in D3, and that we are really good. And I'm not saying that to be arrogant or anything, but we are pretty good. And we just have to know when we step out on the field that we're just as good as these teams, or they wouldn't have moved us up to D2. And as captains, because I'm a captain on the softball team, we're trying to keep people motivated, our players motivated, and I think that is going to be a huge factor in this year is, yeah, we're not playing for anything, but we can still make an impact, and so just keeping players motivated through the season.
Yeah, absolutely. You can still play for each other. You can still play for yourselves, and you can still play for something greater than yourselves, which is Emory and Henry softball, and I think you guys do that so well. So my next question I have for you is kind of just a fun one. It's a fill in the blank. So I want you to fill in the blank. For this team to be successful, we need to blank.
I'm going to change. I'm going to say we need our core values. So our core values are family, mudita, pride, selflessness, and oh no.
It's okay.
Well, we have those core values, and I always get tripped up on the last one, but we always have those core values, and if we stick to those core values and we take those to heart and we actually play with intention of those, I think we're going to be really successful. And that's one thing that I've always done as a player is I've been all in for Emory Henry softball since like my junior year of high school, because that's where I've always wanted to play here. And you know, I've always just taken every aspect that Coach Forrester has taught us to heart and been all in on it and intentional. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And so over your past 5 years here and really being bought into every single core value that the team has, you know, with so many new faces on the team and all these new freshmen, how do you think that that'll be achieved in the team culture with, you know, so many new people coming into the roster?
I think as long as we have great leadership and pretty much just showing our freshmen how we do things here, how we operate. You know, we are a family, and we have to make sure that they know that we're a family, and we have to welcome them into our family. It's been a family ever since I've gotten here, and it was a family before I ever was here. So we just have to remember that one core value of family and play for each other, play for the bigger picture.
Yeah.
You know, and the process. It's all about the process, and it's all about how we're going to get to where we need to be going. But I think that's just one thing that's going to make us successful.
Yeah, absolutely. And so as a super senior and someone that's been here for 5 years, what about this program is so special that, you know, you made that decision, you made that tough decision to decide to come back and do it for one more year?
For me, I've played softball for like 15 years, so it's kind of hard to give it up after that many years, and especially when you have one more that you could play. And so I decided to enter in the master's program here of education, and just decided to try and pull it out. And then I also wanted to be a member of the first D2 softball team at Emory Henry College, so that's pretty cool. And I mean, not many people, only this team can say that they're on the first D2 softball team at Emory Henry College. So that's really what I wanted, was just finally get to move up in D2 and see it through and see what the future teams are going to be facing.
Yeah, it's a really special moment, and I'm so glad to get to see you do it. And I think that you're just such a special person and such a great player, so that's been an honor and a privilege for me. But going back a little bit to team culture and everything that Coach Forrester focuses on, being in the moment is something that he's talked to us about day in and day out. And, you know, pushing for something that's bigger than yourself. If you're with your family, then you're going to give 100% while you're with them. If you're in a relationship, you're going to give 100% to that relationship, to that person, every single time you're with them. If you're at softball practice or you're at a game, you're going to give 100% of everything you have. If it's a bad day and you only have 80% to give, then you're going to give 100% of that 80%. So how have you seen the team buy into this culture, and how has it helped mold where the team is today?
I think one thing, especially in college athletics, being a student athlete, you, like, for example, today I have class all day, I'm here, and then I also have practice, and then, you know, I have homework after, so you could really get caught up in what you're doing throughout the day and all this next day stuff and the weekend stuff and all the games that you're going to have to play and all the practice that you have to go to and the training sessions that are early in the morning. You're just going to, like, you have to be able to be in the moment, and you have to, when I'm at softball, I'm going to be at softball. I'm not going to be thinking about homework. I'm not going to be thinking about anything else that's going on in my life. If I have a boyfriend, I'm not going to be thinking about my boyfriend. I'm going to be at softball practice.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so one thing that he always says to us is, you know, be in the moment, but also be where your feet are.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is such a life lesson more than just a softball lesson, is you need to be where you are at the moment. Because if you're living in the next moment or the future moments or in the past moments, you're going to miss out on the great things that are coming in where your feet are at the moment.
Absolutely. And, you know, we talk about team culture and all those things. I want to bridge into just another little aspect of it that kind of ties in. But this is our last question, by the way. But you know, we talk about Mudita and sharing the joys of others as your own, and that's how this team operates. It's a really special thing. And as I've seen you grow as a player over just the past couple years, you do that day in and day out. Like, if any of y'all have ever seen Allie at a softball game, then you know that you absolutely can't miss the cheers that she has. Like, it's from the very beginning to the very end. It doesn't matter if we're down by 10. It doesn't matter if we're up by 10. Like, every single second of the game, you're going to hear your voice yelling at the top of your lungs and leading everybody else in all those cheers. So just a little fun question for you. Like, whenever you come up with these cheers, who writes them? How do you get the team to learn them? And then what has your favorite cheer been as this season, and then out of all the seasons that you've been at Emory and Henry softball?
Well, I'll start to say is that I certainly do like to have fun. When I came into college, my mom was like, what if you don't play? Like, you know, what if you sit the bench for 4 years? And it's like, that's not what I'm going to college for. I'm going to play softball because I love softball. And when I came in Emory, I was like, this is going to be a family. That's what I want, is a family aspect, because my family personally means a lot to me. And so I just really wanted that family aspect. And so I treat every one of my teammates like family. And whatever they do, so it's just like my sister. If my sister succeeds, I'm going to be really happy for her. And that's how I kind of look at it. But I don't know where the cheers came from. I was handed the cheer chart my freshman year, and it wasn't handed to everybody. And I was, you know, I have a loud, big personality, so.
It's a good personality.
They handed it to me, and then I just learned all the cheers. And eventually, once you hear them a lot, you're going to learn them. But I'd say one of my favorite cheers is when we get ahead, or we make something big happens in our games, or we just get really hype. It's called "Oh When the Wasps." And
come swarming in.
Yeah, come swarming in, and it's just like, it's just really hype. And, you know, and I feel like that one cheer brings, even if there's people in the dugout that don't cheer, that is the one cheer that everybody will hop in on, and everybody's for it because something big just happened, or we have a rally going, or we just scored 2 runs and we took the lead or something. It shows that something big happened and that we're proud of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I see all, like, the audience join in. It's just a really big moment for the whole team. But thank you so much, Allie. Thank you for being with us. We've really enjoyed having you today, and we'll be so happy to see how the rest of your season unfolds.
Thank you for having me.
And this concludes our sports interview for EHC-TV. I'm Tatum Harvel, and we'll see y'all next week.